guys, it's Kelly, and today we are doing a highly requested video. We're going to be talking about how to do your brows for absolute beginners. Before we start this video, let me just say I am not a licensed professional. I am sharing with you guys these tips that I have learned over the years of trial and error. A lot of you guys do like my eyebrows. I feel like they're not exactly Instagram brows. They're brows that I wear in everyday life, and people always compliment me on them. And you guys do too, and I really appreciate that. So I thought I would impart my knowledge into you guys. To you guys? I don't know. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I am going to be sharing with you the entire step-by-step process of how I do my brows. So let's just get started. All right, so tip number one is go to a salon and get your brows professionally shaped. You only have to do this one time. Please don't be mad. Don't click out of this video. I know it seems like a cop-out, but I feel like this is a really important tip that a lot of people don't talk about. When I first started getting into like my brows, I used to not do anything to them. But then once I started getting into it, I watched so many YouTube videos on how to shape your own brows, and I felt like I was even more lost than I was before I watched them. And I felt like I made so many mistakes because I was following these tips from people who had a different type of brow shape than me. And when you go to a salon or when you go to a waxing place, these people are going to shape your brows based on your face. And these people are professionals. They do it all day, every day. So if you just go once, you can always keep up with the maintenance on your own. I know it's a little bit of an investment, but some places are less expensive than others. I know that European Wax Center, for those of you guys who are, I don't know if that's just the US. That would be a weird name if it was just in the US. They also actually will fill in your brows after you get them shaped, so they'll show you what the shape of your brows look like. That's what I did the first time I got mine shaped. I didn't really know how I wanted them to look, but I trusted their judgment. They shaped my brows, they filled them in, and then I knew how I wanted my brows to look, and then I was good. But yeah, you just have to go once. You just have to do that one initial investment, and then once you have your brows professionally shaped, we can work with that to teach you how to fill them in and how to make them look nice and how to keep them looking nice. All right, so step number two is part of the maintenance. So that is before you get started with your brows, and you don't have to do this every single day. I probably do it maybe once every week or 2 weeks. And what I do is I trim my brow hairs. So it's super easy to do. You basically just take a little spoolie and first you brush your hair down on your eyebrows, and then you take a little manicure scissor and you cut along the line of the bottom of your brows. And then you do the same thing by brushing up and then cutting again along your brows. So what this does is it keeps that brow shape uniform. It makes sure there's no stray pieces that are popping up or down, and it also keeps them a nice normal length for your brows. Step three is another maintenance tip, and this is something, again, I don't do this every day. It's just whenever I see a stray hair, I will pluck it. So that's tip number three, pluck any stray hairs. For me, I always get a lot around the outer edge, like where that little tail is, and I think it's so important to keep the little tail of your brow nice and sharp. So always make sure that you're going in and plucking any stray bits that are coming out there. And if you're doing this every week and you're brushing them out and you're trimming them and you're also plucking any strays, then you can keep that shape and you can maintain the shape that you got when you went to a professional. When I first started doing my brows, like I said, I only went once and then I didn't go again for like 3 years. Now I go a little bit more often just because I'm a little lazy and I like to have them waxed instead of plucked. But yeah, I didn't do anything for like 3 years, and I was just maintaining my own brow shape, and I think they still looked awesome. All right, so number four is the actual brow drawing on. So let's get started. So the way that I do my brows is I like to use a cream gel. So I have a couple of brands that I really love to use. They're both super inexpensive, and that would be the Colourpop, what is this stuff called? Brow Color. And it comes in a little pot like this, and you have to use a separate brush with it. And also I love the Milani Stay Put Brow Color. Again, comes in a little pot and you have to use a brush. Now the Milani one does actually come with a brush that I really love, but I also have another inexpensive drugstore brush that I'll recommend to you. The reason that I love using the brow cream gel color is because I think it gives a much sharper line and it really defines your brows a lot better. I used to use a pencil brush as my eyebrow brush, and I really didn't think it gave me that sharp definition that I really loved. I'll show you guys a quick example of what it looks like when I use a pencil, but you can see, even though it does look decent, I feel like there's just not enough definition and the line is not that sharp. And I also feel like it's hard to kind of fill in those sparse areas because there's only so much you can do with a pencil. I feel like it's just not gonna be a consistent color all the way through that it could be with a cream gel product. I've never used the ABH brow is it Brow Wiz? I know that everybody talks about that, but honestly, I don't think you even need to spend that much. The Colourpop one I think was $8 and the Milani one I think is $7. I just get it from Walmart, and the Colourpop one I get from their website. I think they're both absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna be showing you using the Colourpop one today. And just a quick tip for choosing your color, what I like to do is choose the color that is as dark as the darkest part of my hair. And the reason that I say that is because I know a lot of people have like a balayage, or especially if you're blonde and you have darker roots, I always recommend going with that root color because I think having the darkest color of your hair as your brows makes the most sense. So that's what I do. I always just pick, I feel like that's pretty accurate. But yeah, I always just pick probably the second darkest color because my hair is fairly dark and I think that just suits me very well. In terms of the brush, you want to make sure that you're using a very thin eyebrow brush. I absolutely love to use, what is this one even? This is the Moda Brow / Groomer brush. And it actually has a little spoolie on the end too, which is super convenient. I love using this one. It was super inexpensive. I'll link it down below. It came in a little pack with some other eye brushes. But another one that I actually love is the brush that comes with the Milani Brow product. I think it's super fantastic. I have used mine so much. In fact, I used it until it basically broke. So I really highly recommend that one. But if you can grab this Moda brush, I do think this one is a little bit better and it's a little bit better quality. So I think this one works fantastic. And like I said, it is inexpensive, so it really works well. So the way that I go in and draw my brows is I will first outline my eyebrow on the top and the bottom. And what I do is I go about a finger's length in to make sure that I'm starting at a part of my brow that is not sparse. So if you see the beginning of your brow and right close to your nose is a little bit more of like a sparse area where you just see those little hairs like popping up. Once they start to go out, that is where I start to draw it on, because you don't want to start off in that first part of your brow because then it's going to be like super blocky and you want it to have like a natural flow. So again, I'll just start off with the top and then I'll go in the bottom and then I fill it in. I know that seems super silly because a lot of people want to have a different brow shape. In my opinion, I feel like the brow shape that works best is the brow shape that you already have on your face. I always feel like it looks a little unnatural when people try to do a different brow shape on their face than it naturally does. Like if you try to create a high arch or if you try to create a straight across brow, I feel like it just looks kind of weird. I might be wrong. There are probably some instances where it does look better, but as an absolute beginner, I would say definitely just go off of the way that your brow naturally is shaped. I think that's what works the best. It doesn't matter if your two brows are uneven or different from each other. I know they always say they're supposed to be sisters, not twins. I feel like mine are cousins. Mine aren't even that closely related. I feel like my two brows are very different from each other, but nobody has ever noticed or said anything about it because they follow the natural shape of my face, and I feel like that is what makes them look good. Like I'm just following what is already there. We're all about enhancing the natural features here. But yeah, so once I've got that filled in and I have a little bit of product left on my brush, I won't re-dip, but I will go in and I'll start to lightly brush up and sort of fill in that area that is closer to my nose and the bridge of my nose. And I like to sort of mimic the look of the actual hairs, but even if you can't do that perfectly, that's totally fine because the next step will save you. So once I've got all of that taken care of, I will take a little spoolie, and conveniently this brush has a little spoolie on the end, so does the Milani brush, and then I will brush it out. So in the front of my brow, I will brushing upwards, and then as my brow goes out, I will start brushing it out. And what this does is it helps blend in that cream gel really nicely, and it makes the product look a lot more natural. It removes any sort of harsh lines, and it helps mimic the look of the actual hairs on your eyebrow. All right, and then the last step is to set your brows. This is something that I did not do for a really long time, and by the end of the day, I wouldn't have any brows left because I would be wiping them off. Using a brow setting product is super important. There are a lot of really great ones that are out there. I am currently using the Benefit Brow Setter, and I know this one's a little bit expensive, but it really does hold for a very long time. Like it's almost like glue where it just keeps your eyebrows on for the entire day plus longer. Another one that I love that is a little bit more affordable is the NYX Control Freak Eyebrow Gel. This is just a clear gel and you can just brush it on and it does the same thing. For me, this one doesn't last as long as the Benefit one, but that's to be expected because it is a little bit less expensive and it's a little bit lower quality, but it is a really fantastic one, and especially if you're a beginner and you don't want to invest too much money in it, I think that's a totally fine way to go. I've also used some wax pencils before. I don't think they work as well. I do love the added benefit of using a spoolie on my brows because that kind of just continues to brush it out and make the lines look even more natural. But if you want to use a wax pencil, Sigma Beauty makes a really nice one. It is a little bit expensive though. So really quickly, before we wrap this up, I just want to give you my absolute #1 tip for drawing on your brows, and that is to wash your eyebrow brush every single day. I know you don't have to do that with any other brushes. I am super lazy with washing my other makeup brushes, but this one I wash every single day. And the reason is because once you start to have that cream product stuck onto here and it'll dry and crust on, you're not gonna get as sharp of a line because the bristles are not gonna be as sharp and they're not gonna move in the way that you want them to. Honestly, you don't have to do anything crazy. I just take soap in my hand and I just kind of rub the brush into it until it's clean, and then I wipe it off, let it dry, and then I will go ahead and draw on my brows. And I think that's a huge part of keeping my brows super sharp every single day. I found such a big difference when I started washing it every day. And you also want to make sure that you're washing the spoolie. You don't have to do that every day, but you just want to make sure that you are not forgetting to wash it because it can get dirty and you can get germs and stuff from that. But yeah, that is it. Those are my steps for how I do my brows. Hopefully you guys found this video to be helpful. For those of you guys who are beginners and just getting started, if you have any questions, please ask them below. I always answer my YouTube comments. And if you have any other tips or recommendations or products that you love, also leave them in the comments for anybody else who's interested. And yeah, that's it. Give this video a thumbs up if you like my makeup 101 videos. I'm planning more for 2020. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I do mostly nail polish and nail art related videos, but I am getting more into makeup stuff. So if you have any requests, you know, you can also leave that in the comments. I'm saying that a lot today. Yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Oh my God, have I had this little fuzz in my hair this whole time? Great. Fun fact, I actually filmed this video like 3 times, and the first 2 times I did not post it because my brows did not look that good. And I hope they look good today because this is the last time I am filming this video and I'm just gonna post it. I don't care. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.